Let's restore some hydration to your low back with the lower body length sequence. I want you to begin with your rest assess. Lie on your back with your palms faced up and your arms and legs extended. Using your body sense, I want you to scan your masses and spaces and see if you have stuck stress or any of the 4 common imbalances. Remember, notice your upper body. When we have a lot of stuck stress in the shoulder girdle, we'll feel a lot of weight only in the upper 1/3 part of our back. If our mid-back feels arched off the floor, that is a common sign of accumulated stress in the diaphragm. If the pelvis feels like it's more weighted on the tailbone than butt cheeks, or the back of the thighs feel off the ground on one or both sides, that is a common sign of accumulated stress in the pelvis. I also want you to assess your autopilot. Divide your body into a left and a right half. Notice if one entire side of your body feels more weighted to the floor or if one leg feels longer. Take one focused breath, and when you're ready, bend your knees, and let's start with SI joint shear. You're going to find your core. Remember, you can always make your sound shh, s, or to really make sure that you have your core engaged before you lift up your hips and bring the roller underneath the back of your pelvis. Now remember, when we practice this in the key tips and techniques, you want to make sure that the firm surface of the back of your pelvis is on the top of the roller. You'll bring your legs up to that perpendicular position with your heels slack to your butt cheeks. Let's try to create the SI joint shear by just tipping our knees slightly to one side and create the small circles with both of your legs. Remember, keep your core engaged as you create this circular motion. You can also try the single leg circles by keeping your core engaged and just moving at the hip joint that you're leaning toward, or you can march both knees forward and back to create the fluid exchange in the pelvis so that we can bring more fluids to the low back to release it after we've done the length moves. Wait here for a moment. Take a focused breath, and then tip your knees over to the other side and create the small circles. Remember, this is a differentiated motion, so keep your ribs stable and your core engaged and the movement small so that we really isolate the compression right at the SI joint. I want you to create circles with one knee or create the marching of the knees forward and back. Remember, once you do a shear, wait for a moment and give the tissue a second to adapt. Take a focused breath and bring your legs back to center. I want you to bring one foot down to the floor. Now, once your leg is down on the ground, I want you to keep that leg in the exact same position for the first length move called the bent knee press. This is to draw fluids throughout the front line of the body and bring fluid back up through the pelvis. I want you to focus on your pelvis before you bring the other knee towards your chest. In this position, to do the bent knee press, you have to have your pelvis in an active tuck. So roll your pelvis towards your side of the roller. Without even doing the length position at its full pace, you might feel like you're already finding tension on the front of the leg that's on the floor. That means you're doing a good job at keeping your pelvis tucked. Take a breath in, interlace your hands over your shin or under the thigh if you have any knee pain, and slowly draw your knee towards your chest as you gently push the other foot onto the ground. Take a focused breath, and on the exhale, create equal tension with the push-pull as you focus on tucking your pelvis. Inhale, ease back some of your pressure, and take a look at that leg that's on the floor. Make sure that the leg's not swinging out to the side. Really line the knee up, and let's try one more time to create the bent knee press by exhaling and creating that gentle push-pull. Let it go. Bring the other leg down to the ground, and let's try it on the other side. Remember, interlace your hands over your shin or under the back of the thigh. Take a focused breath. On an exhale, initiate the pose by tucking your pelvis, and then create that gentle push with your foot on the floor and draw the other knee towards your chest. Remember, keep that leg that's on the ground straight ahead. The focus is to create tensional pull on the front of the thigh. Inhale and ease back some pressure, and one more time, create the push-pull. Great, let's bring that leg down to the floor. Now notice if the roller has moved from the position that we started in. If it has, just lift up your hips and readjust your roller, and let's try hip to heel press. Let's extend one leg straight up into the air. Now, I don't care how flexible you are. I want your leg to be straight up, perpendicular to the roller. If you can't straighten out your knee in this position, you'll do less of an angle or even put your leg up against a wall to do this movement. I want you to learn the difference between stretching a muscle or lengthening connective tissue. Watch how I'm flexing and pointing my ankle. Try this move. If you feel a pull in your calf, you're now feeling a muscle stretch. But let's try to cause the tensional two-directional length position to the back of the thigh. You'll keep your ankle flexed and slowly tilt your pelvis onto the top of the roller to land the back of the pelvis on the top of the roller. Take a focused breath and try one more time. Heel goes up, hip goes heavy. Set that leg down to the ground. Let's try it on the other side. Remember, the leg will go perpendicular or less, but never overhead. Don't try to find muscular stretch on this one. Let's go right to it. Flex your foot, take a focused breath, and on an exhale, try to tilt your pelvis onto the top of the roller. A good cue for you is to think about lightening the other foot on the floor so that your hip can really remain heavy on the roller. Take one more focused breath, send your heel up and your hip heavy, and let it go. Take a focused breath. Let's reassess. Lift up your hips, move the roller out from underneath your pelvis, and lie flat on your back with your palms faced up and your arms and legs extended. I want you to notice if your upper back is more weighted to the ground. I also want you to notice if your pelvis or your thighs are more rested to the floor. Take some focused breaths into your body and let your autopilot reacquire its signal to your center of gravity.